welcome everybody to Flat Black Podcast, episode 6. And for those of you that watch us, you might notice a different setting here. This time around, we have been invited to a special location here in the city of Palm Springs, a brand new podcast studio. It's called the Palm Springs Podcast Studio. And we will be doing our shows from here on out in this studio. So if you guys like it, please make sure to give us some feedback and let us know. You could just some info on the studio itself. If you want to, book a podcast or anything like that, you can find my boy Robert on IG at Palm Springs Podcast Studio, or you could send him an email to info@palmspringsstudio.com. So here we are, episode 6. My co-host, Big Joe, and our special guest for today, the one and only OG Feevo.
I appreciate that, man. I when people call me OG, man, I come from a generation where I got OGs that I look up to.
Sure.
So I consider myself just a student of the culture, man. I'm still learning, man. When people ask me, what do you consider a toy, man? My oldest daughter writes toy.
Right.
And every year she changes the number. She's toy 29 going on toy 30. So with that being said, you know what I mean? Like she started at 8, toy 8.
Okay.
I remember this story a long ass time ago. You were telling me that.
She would help me fill in like her letters, but technically, she was my road dog.
That's right.
Due to circumstances, you know what I mean?
Well, while we're at it, do you want to introduce these fine gentlemen that are here next to you?
This is my son, Stamp. That's my other son, Doctor. If you know, you know.
That's right. Right. All right, man. So I guess we'll just jump right into it, man. You want to talk to us a little bit about your history and
where did it all start?
Yeah, where did it all start and insight?
Speaking of peers, my older brothers, they've always been involved with the scene. I'm as old as, or I'm a year older than what hip hop is. So with that being said, my older brothers were born, with the culture being thrown at them. You know what I mean? Even though, New York started a little bit first before us, the West Coast took it and made it better, I think, in my opinion. Because, hey, I love fucking New York. Because when I went to New York, man, it was the best fucking feeling because I felt like I fit in perfectly with them. Because I got nothing but love for throw-ups and scribes and destruction. I'm a real fucking vandal, man. And I'm not talking boasting. I just feel that just recently, man, Corpse inspired me and influenced me, along with my family, to take my letters to another level. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Stop doing throw-ups, but I do throw-ups. I love fucking throw-ups. I'm not gonna stop doing that. That's what defines me. Destruction.
There's Feevo throw-ups running still for 20 years.
Yeah,
that you still find.
That's pretty cool. And I love that. I love hearing shit like that. I was driving into the town, to Palm Springs, and I seen SFKs, and I know my dude's fucking lettering, you know what I mean? And I'm like, man, they put him to that test or something, you know what I mean? They want to see if he's got it, if he's really got the love, because that's the way I recruit brothers into my crew, you know what I mean? Sure. I give them a 1-year mission.
Sure.
Prospect mission, just D.O.C, nothing but D.O.C. If you really want to be part of this family, you're going to rock just docs. You know what I mean? Your name is secondary in my crew. Because if you really want it, you'll wait that whole year and see what you could do with Doc.
Okay.
I remember having this conversation with
and let's see what you could do with Doc. And then after the year's over, we sit down with the rest of the crew, or as many as we can get together, right? Because we're all around. And it would be hard to get us all together, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we have the same heart and passion around the world.
When did you start? I always like interviewing people that I kind of already know the answer to the questions, because I can kind of guide it in the interesting parts around, and it's cool because Mark, doesn't know the full history of what's going on.
Yeah, very interesting.
But when what year and first off, what year and what got you into graffiti?
Well, I was born in Mexico, man. Right, 1972. I was brought over to the United States in a taxi cab, in the backseat of a taxi cab. My dad arranged it with a border patrol agent to let us cross over. Back in the days, it was a lot more easier. This is 1974. This is in 1974. We're in the backseat of a taxi cab. It's me, my brother Hector, rest in peace, which is ecstasy, and my brother Crime, which is my, oldest brother at this point. But of course, we have my oldest brother that's passed due to cancer. But anyways, came over to the United States. We moved to Chicago. My dad didn't like the weather because we're Jalisqueños and from Zacatecas, Mexico, right? And the fucking weather in Chicago is for those motherfuckers that love fucking wearing fucking
Parkas.
North Face and shit, you know what I mean? It's cold as fuck and humid. My mom didn't like it. They were working at the Nabisco or some cookie factory out there. Made a few, checks. Decided, fucking, let's go to LA, you know what I mean? So we went to LA and we lived right by White Fence by the Hole. This is at this point it's end of 74, 75, beginning of 75. And we live on 215 and a half Lorena. If you Google that address, you're going to know exactly why I love graffiti and why I like destruction. I got to witness some of the shit that Chas did, some of the fucking Santa La Muerte, Suerte, La Santa Suerte, whatever the fuck he calls it. But anyways, just living in that environment, and if you know about the gang situation and, the way it was for Raza back then, it was different, man. Like, we felt, a lot of people say that black people have it bad, man. We still have it worse than them till this day. We just don't fucking pout about shit, you know what I mean? We don't cry about it. We don't let little things bother us. We just keep going forward. What I'm getting at is that just being around people that grew up shoplifting, because I kicked it with a lot of kids from White Fence. You know what I mean? They're the sons of OG dudes from White Fence. And not knowing that years later, I consider her a sister. She's from the Avenue's 43rd, right? Her compadre is, Kilroy. You're familiar with that, right?
Yeah. Like OG, like
Kilroy, yeah.
Oh,
Kilroy
shit.
from White Fence, man.
Yeah.
Kilroy, right? And he died of, they say, of COVID-19, right? Which, it was happening at a time that's not too far away from here that he passed away. But then his godson, which repped 213 gang, Richard Carvajal and, a lot of dudes like that, they're from there. And I lived on that fucking block years later, you know what I mean? And I know some of those dudes. Some of those dudes are from my crew, you know what I mean? Like Keys, D.O.C, he's from 213. I mean, it's not that I'm putting out there, but we're in a time and era where we were able to kind of speak on that.
Yeah. And then, and what got you into the
graffiti? Wait, what are we going to get into?
Oh, okay.
Well, when my first, technically my worst and first time destroying something was with fireworks. It was me and my brother Crime. We're in the alley on 215 and a half, in the alley right in between, lighting up fucking flowers. The flowers, the one that spin. Oh, yeah. And the alley goes up and it has a slope. Fucking lighting it up, and it's fun. It's 4th near 4th of July, getting fireworks. We come from a poor family, so we're excited to just light up any kind of shit, right? And fireworks were cheap back then. You could get a fucking flower for a penny, dude. A fucking pack of firecrackers, 5 cents, dude. Excuse me. This is already like in it's got to be like 77, right before they filmed Boulevard Nights, because I was there when they filmed Boulevard Nights. I was a kid watching them film that shit, you know what I mean? Wow. And years later, my homie's working with a dude that's the Chuco, you know what I mean? Like, think about it, like, how the world's fucking crazy. We're all fucking crazy, right? That's why your SFK is so fucking crazy. But anyways, man, we burned down a house because the flower fucking spun and it landed on a dry fucking fence with dry bushes and shit. And at that house, there was, it was like a home for like caring for children, Down syndrome kids. You know what a Mongolo is, right?
Yeah.
Mongolo is Down syndrome, like somebody that, all that. Yeah. And we caught the fucking whole house on fire, dude. And all I could hear, and me and my brother just looking at each other like, fuck, dude, we fucked up.
Wait, I'm sorry, was this your house that you burned down?
No, this is a neighbor's house, like 4 houses up the alley. Because the shit spun.
Burned down a special needs house.
Yeah, special needs house, there you go.
Wow. Okay.
And you know, lately and recently, if you notice, not a lot of people come out with syndromes or, you know, mongolos, because that's all preordained by government shots, vaccines. All that. We'll get to that shit later if we have time.
Another
Ooh,
podcast.
going big.
but the thing was that feeling of fucking destroying something, even though it was bad, it was cool to fucking feel that shit, dude. Like, I didn't fucking know how to. I can't explain it right now.
You think
Even
you had
till this
built up.
Like, to search for something even crazier than that. You know what I mean? Like how can I fucking do shit like this and have the attention? Because you should have seen all the bomberos, you know, fire trucks, cops, all that shit. You know, just due to that. So it left something in me, but at the same time, I always tell my wife, man. From what I understand, nobody passed away, but I always tell my wife, man, I lighted her, you know? Tell her, fuck, I killed 7 people, and that's how I came up with a song called 7 in Heaven. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, like, but
Well, she's gonna watch this episode.
and 7 in Heaven is also a crew of 7 members within our crew that were doing more shit, and we created it. Was Sonic, Skittle, you know, Connor, myself. You know what I mean? There was 7 of us. I forget the other fuckers. Odile was one of them, which is, you know who Odile is.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
But with that being said, that's in '77. All that shit happened, got our asses whooped. The good thing was that they didn't even fucking charge us for that. It was just an honest mistake, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My mom whipped the living shit out of us. You know what they say about the chancla? This was with the fucking electrical cord, dude. She didn't fuck around. You know, she was our overseer, the person that took care of us.
Sure.
My dad was at work. He collect cardboard. That's how I know a lot of motherfuckers in LA, because me and my dad, on vacations, I would be with him working, picking up cardboard. You know what I mean? So we knew a lot of people, the owners of the Bendix buildings. I used to go up there and throw paper airplanes in the 70s from that building. So anyways, fucking I apologize if I elaborate, but I gave you that fair warning earlier. You know what I mean?
No,
my
go
head's
for it,
on
man.
my head, like fucking. I did a lot of shit, man. So that happened, but I also had a bad habit of shoplifting. My brother, 2 older brothers, would take us to Brooklyn and Lorena. Los Cinco Puntos is right there, right? And back then it was a fucking Lucky's. Now it's a Cardenas or a fucking some of the.
There's recycle businesses out there, yeah.
Yeah. But they would, in the summer, dude, they would throw me in with a fucking jacket, with a hoodie, and fucking go. We go in, all 3 of us would go in there. They'll fucking decorate me with all kinds of shit, inner tubes, chains, fucking shit we needed for the bikes, right? Because it was in.
The rack attack.
And then they would go outside and wait for me, and they'll let me walk out by myself. Fucking, the time I got caught, the fucking managers out there, you know, like by the doors. Where do you think you're going? Because back then there was no cameras, but they had the glass, which they still use, where they could see you from
I
the
remember
top.
those stores. I always look up the.
Yeah, they're watching you.
Yeah.
Well, I got
Sky,
caught like that, and then my brother Ecstasy, we had money because I sold oranges at the exit of the Mercadito. My dad would leave me with like 100 fucking bags of oranges, which is crazy because I told you I used to come to Redlands to buy the fucking oranges.
Oh shit.
Just last year I had this dude picking oranges, and I didn't know it's illegal to pick oranges out here.
Oh shit.
Somebody told me the Sunkist yards, we used to come over here to get the bags, and back then we sold them for $1 full of fucking bags. Now you get fucking a bag like this for $5, right?
Nice.
The change of the times.
Yeah.
But let's get back to graffiti. So I used to go to different neighbors' houses, and I would scope out, like, what I'm getting at is that I like to do criminal shit, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And shit that gave me the rush. I worked alone all the time, most of the time. I would go to people's yards, dude, and steal their toys and shit. And it didn't feel bad. It's just, I knew it was bad, but it didn't feel
excitement.
bad. The excitement.
of doing
And
bad
back
shit.
then, I would play across the street, and there was a pawn shop with the fucking low fucking thing, swing and shit. I'm just giving you a description of the type of kid I grew up being. When Sodi's opened next door to First Street School, because now it's called Evergreen Elementary, right by Talpa by 4th Street, we went to shoplift right after school. My brothers, everybody went to Sodi's to fucking shoplift toys, whatever. Just quick, fuck, I'm killing you guys, huh?
Hey man,
Not
no,
too
you
much.
tell me. You know, we got a whole hour.
As long as it's leading into something.
Yeah.
All right.
Because I want to give you a full-on description. You asked me, like, what got me into fucking graffiti, right?
I'm visualizing the picture.
Because not a lot of people realize this. I'm not the only one that grew up this way.
Not at all.
Poverty will turn you into your intuition will will give you ideas how to attain this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've heard, if you haven't, if you heard my I call him my brother, my carnal, you know what I mean? Odile, he's talked about it. When we got older, we couldn't afford skateboards, so we went and fucking jack.
Yeah.
So going back now to the 70s, we took a turn to, well, my dad decided, let's move somewhere else where we could gain more money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he knew he had 3 strong sons, and this is his daughter was born, Nat, from D.O.C. in 1976. So she's still about, 2 years old 3 years old, because we moved to Stockton, California in 1979, right? Late 79, early 80, to go work in the fucking fields in Stockton. And my dad knew, well, fuck, I got 3 sons, and we literally fucking put money in my dad's pocket to provide a better lifestyle for us. So I knew how to work. As I said earlier, I was selling oranges at 5 years old. And I can give you a crazy story about that, like how
That's on the orange episode, though.
let's get on that. And wearing orange, that's another thing too, though, a lot of times. But going back to graffiti art, let's go. In Stockton, there was a crew called the Atomic Bomb Crew that was already set up over there by LA dudes from Vicky's Town gang, from East Side gang. Yep. And being from LA, we moved from LA to Stockton the first week. I got into some squads with little dudes because, the rivalry was real, man, and it still is. I don't know how bad it is now, but I got in a fight with some dudes from Clay Street. They were family from older dudes from Clay Street. And they knew we were from LA, and we kicked it with the Vicky's Town dudes. But the B-boy thing was cool as fuck, and it was called Atomic Bomb Crew. My brother Crime was in it, Ecstasy. At that time, we didn't even have those names like Ecstasy and Crime. I was in Feevo. I was just a fucking B-boy, in the making. So we were representing the Atomic Bomb Crew, but at the same time, we're getting into shit with the gangs out there because we're in cahoot with the LA squad. You know what I mean?
Did you already have a crew formed at all, or was it just you guys were just?
I got photos of in 1982 of my brother doing a bomb city. You know what I mean? Atomic Bomb City. With the orange and yellow, the common fucking hip hop colors that were used back then. If you remember, that's like very common. The yellow and the fucking outer trim would literally fucking match. Fuck, I'm getting fucking all choo-choo.
It's all right, man. You know what?
What's in that bottle, sir?
Yeah. What's really in that bottle, man?
Yeah.
For a lot of people, could we promote it? Or
yeah, man, you promote it, whatever you want.
This actually saved my wife's life. And it helps me with fucking, I get anxious, dude, you know what I mean? Yeah. I like doing I don't do drugs or none of that. But this right here.
What's in there? Just so people
Kratom.
Kratom from.
And it saved my wife's life because my wife went through 5 kids with cesareans, dude. The last one, Vanessa.
Yeah.
She got her, tied the tubes.
Yeah.
So it gave her postpartum depression, and she got addicted to the fucking pills that they were giving her and all that. And for a long time, man, I was buying fucking tramadols from Mexico.
Yeah.
Tramadols fucking they were helping me even, you know what I mean, to get a little more food, and then go to fucking work and not be tired. Yeah. But it has an effect on you. It's eating you up, sucks you out. You know what I mean? And who knows what the fuck comes in them? Coming from our daddy. Their money's a motherfucker.
No, definitely.
Going back to the graffiti, so it's 1982, man. My dad started to notice that we're getting involved in the streets more. You know what I mean? Like we would have like different neighborhoods come and play football against us. You know what I mean? At this point, we're living on Jefferson, 728 Jefferson, man. And if you Google that, there's a lot of neighborhoods that live around there. We're from LA, so we're already in a place where we ain't accepted no matter what.
Yep.
It's the Norteño thing,
right?
Norteño,
so the Norteños don't get along with the Sureños, and it's very, everybody knows about that. Yeah. But it's sad too because I made a lot of good friends out there that weren't involved with neither or, you know what I mean? And in 1982 we made the effort to move back to Los Angeles, but we got in a big ass car accident between Merced and Madera. Fucking truck flipped over. My brother Ecstasy was driving, and my dad was drunk as fuck. I'm right next to Ecstasy, Wando, which is Crime, sat right here. And my brother Icer was born in '80, so he was 2 years old. And my dad had put a mattress in the camper shell And under was just the belongings that we wanted to bring. You know what I mean? Like paperwork and, you know, photos and shit like that. And we got in an accident, man. The fucking truck. My dad was stubborn and told my brother, nah, we're almost there. We're in fucking Merced, Madera. If you know how far away it is from LA, it's still far.
Yeah.
Let's get there, you know, keep driving. My brother's young, dude. So, no license or nothing. Just fucking, my dad fucking taught them how to drive early.
I know what's up with
you
that.
know what I mean? My brother,
Yeah.
Crime used to drive my dad in a fucking Impala station wagon in East LA from El Mercadito to the house. Because it's only like a block away from where we live. In a fucking Impala station wagon, drunk as fuck. And my brother driving, like, you know, that was his chauffeur.
It happens. That's why you have kids.
Yeah. Yeah. So we got in that car accident on the freeway, and we all survived, dude.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just remember my dad, like, walking around the flipped over fucking truck, shit everywhere in the freeway, fucking, you know, luckily it was late morning, there wasn't that much traffic. And we all survived, man. That was a blessing. Till this day, I fucking talk about it proudly because I can't believe that the mattress my dad set up in the first flipped out, but for some reason, my mom had Icer in her arms, 2 years old, and my sister, Nat, from D.O.C., she was born in 76, so if you do the math, it's only 1982. She's not that old. But they all fucking were saved by the mattress, and we ended up fucking far away because we went with the fucking flips. You know what I mean? We kept flipping. They were launched off on the first fucking flip. So they got saved shit everywhere. Highway patrol comes, like, you know, this after hours later. I guess a 53-footer, a trailer dude, he fuck a truck driver, pulls over and called the CHP. They show up, and to make it short, they gave us an ultimatum. Like, you want to go back to Stockton, or you want to head back, we'll pay your Greyhound to go to LA. My dad saw, well, we still got a month's rent, you know, on the house that we were renting on. At that point, we were living on Hazelton Avenue. And we decided to go back. So then it prolonged our return to fucking LA. So in 1985, 86-ish, we moved to LA and we slept in the fucking another truck that he bought, because my dad's about trucks, you know what I mean? Like, that's how he made his money, man. If you don't have a truck, he said, you're gonna be broke. Pickups will make you money. So we went to LA in 1985, 86 with that idea of b-boying shit and all that. We missed the early Radiotron and all that shit. But it was good that we did, because we learned a lot. You know what I mean? And then we came to LA, back to LA in 85, 86, and we rented an apartment. After sleeping in the truck for a while, we found an apartment right there in Occidental by Temple in Hines, right behind the Rampart police station. And that's where I met which I consider, like, you know, we're blood brothers, you know what I mean? Regardless of different, you know, parents. He lived more with us than he lived at home because of circumstances.
Who's that?
Fabian Alomar, man, Odile.
Oh, shit.
I learned so much shit from.
Watch This Fool.
Yeah. For those that don't know, he's the actor. Right?
The actor.
Well, it was easy for us to become actors because the roles that he plays, we were playing them. If you're not familiar, I came out in Angelstown also. I was acting at an early age. Yeah, I'm Cholo in Angelstown.
I would have never known that, bro.
I'm wearing skater clothes, you know what I mean? It just, we dressed up like Zaza, like, you know, we dressed up like Chicanos because that's what we knew.
So where'd the name Feevo come from, and was there names before that?
There was one name before that, and it was Nace. Rest in peace to the other Nace from the East Coast, I believe, Jersey Rhymes homie. Yeah. But we had a thing, Joyce Ariel, that started up like Diamond Supply and all that shit. I gave him that name because I didn't want it. I fucking found the name I fucking love.
Where did Feevo? What is Feevo?
Feevo is a grind, man. Feevo grind.
Oh, that's right.
It's a grind that you do, like a little tweaked out grind on handrails, curves, and whatnot. And I mastered that shit. And I was a good skater. I was skating for Paul Peralta.
Yeah. I
wasn't pro, but I was pro-am. But in contest, I did beat pros. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I stood on skating.
You can still skate.
I do skate. Yeah, I still do skate. I'm dressed like a skater. I brought my board. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Yeah, I still skate, man. They know that. I support more of what they do.
Yeah. Because
I see the passion they have for their sports or what they love, their activities, that I have for skating.
That's right.
But let's get back to the graffiti. All right. 1985, 86-ish, I meet fucking Fabian. You know, we already have the b-boy mentality. The trucks are in style, the mini trucks and all that. My brother Ecstasy's a fucking. You look whiter than you. No disrespect. You don't feel bad because he's white.
I don't feel disrespect. That's how I was born.
How white do you want to be? But my brother looks white, dude. Like my jefas from Jalisco. My daughter, if you look at my daughter Vanessa, you know she's white. They don't think she's my daughter or my wife's daughter. But with that being said, my brother was crazy, dude. Like my dad bought a little Ford Courier, 1980 fucking. What year was it? 1970 something Courier, dude. It was one of the. And we painted it orange fucking primer. My brother Crime drew a fucking bulldog with acrylics and shit on the black window in the back. Because everybody, we couldn't afford the badass Nissans and none of that. So what we used to do is drive around and steal fucking parts for that fucking truck. Dude, all of us collectively fucking would see something. Hey, there's a fucking truck over there with center lines.
Yeah.
We're going to jack that shit. So we had center lines on it. We fucking cut the fucking springs. My brother Mondo was dedicated to this shit. So was my brother Hector, because they went to school in Granada Hills, dude. Back then, if you didn't fit if they couldn't fit you into Belmont High School, because that's where I went, in Virgil Junior High, they would send you off to the Valley.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit was backwards in LA. The poor people went to the fucking Valley.
They're still doing that.
Yeah, but now the poor people live in the Valley, and the rich people fucking went back and bought their fucking downtown.
Right.
Yeah, because there's more power in downtown than there is in the Valley. You know what I mean?
Where would you think what year, like if you had to think of a year that you started writing Feevo and actually joined the crew, you know?
Well, we created CEW, Conquering Every Wall, me and Odile, right? Yeah, we're the main dudes of that crew. Macho, fucking OK from RTDK. We gave OK the crew because he was my neighbor. He lived right across. He's younger than us. And now he does lowrider photography. He's a big dude on that shit. But we gave him the crew, and the crew was being built by Gyro from D.O.C.
Yeah.
He was from BLA, and he was in LOD for a little while with Sid, because Sid was from D.O.C. too. You know, homie from Rockwood. Yeah. But he's in the pen right now. You know, free Sid 1, man.
That's right.
LOD, and at one point he was from D.O.C. Everybody believes that D.O.C. started in 1989, but we started parallel with LOD. Because keep in mind, if Sid was from D.O.C., then just pushed off to LOD, you know what I mean? And then he stood LOD, and you know, that goes to show you that we started at the same time.
89.
88, LOD says 88, I say 89 just to avoid all the fucking, you ain't that old school, fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you want to get technical, when I started graffiti, then, you know, go back to the Atomic Bomb Crew, 82.
Oh,
right?
shit, okay. Yeah.
And influenced by my brothers were already doing tags and all that shit before even that. Because you got to remember, hip-hop's been around my brothers are older than hip-hop.
What does the beginning of D.O.C. look like?
The D.O.C., that's what I was going to get into. Gyro was going to school in the Valley, but he lived right across from the Belmont Tunnel.
Okay.
We had no idea that this was going on. Gyro's like 2-3 years younger than us. Right? So he's going to the Valley. It's Burl, founder, right? Gyro, D.O.C. was involved in that. And other cats that are from the Valley. So a lot of people kind of tug of war about like where did D.O.C. really start. For me, man, like I could give a fuck less where it started, man. I'm from fucking, at that point, my feet were planted in downtown LA. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's where I'm at. So when I started writing D.O.C. and I got invited into it with Gyro and them, I already knew, man, this is a shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. This is a shit. Like, even Nacho feels like he blessed us with, you know, Nacho's frame one.
Yeah.
He argues that he helped us create D.O.C. He mentored us in a sense. We didn't agree with a lot of shit, but he did give us advice, you know, and mentored us. Right. And this was at the Belmont Tunnel. I never fucking had a clue that Gyro and Burl, I just recently found all this shit out, like 2-3 years ago. Okay. That they were contemplating, you know, at the table, like, hey, let's come up with a fucking acronym for fucking D.O.C. Like, what could it be? And, you know, at that time, we're influenced by the D.O.C. the rapper. You know what I mean? Right. That's why I took my son to dribble balls right in front of the King of Kings, Lord of Lords statue. Because that's the album cover of the D.O.C. You know what I mean? Right? Yeah. And that was just not too long ago. And I explained it to him why I wanted to do that. Because before I leave this motherfucker, I want to fucking make sure that my crew keeps going. What we were talking about earlier, how you're building yourself out to be a dope-ass legend, but at the same time you want to leave the legacy behind where it doesn't die out. Rest in peace, Sponta. We were just talking about that.
Yeah.
That he left something, man, it's so sad that he passed away so young. But he gave opportunities to even my own homies. Like Fagan Alomar is big with born and raised, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's on Powerful Truth Angels, you know what I mean? On an interview there because of that. Because of Sponta. Sponta knows what's up. And we skate at Venice Beach, fuck, every weekend, dude. Every weekend, man. Witnessed a lot of dope shit. A lot of good graffiti. But Feevo, it was born when I fucking fell in love with that fucking grind, dude. And it's spelled PHEEVLE, but I took it and made it FEEVO. And I gave it like an acronym, fragile in every existing visual object, if it even makes sense, right?
Yeah.
And then, so that must have been, because we started CEW in 1987, conquering every wall. And that crew made it big, dude. Like, they became like hardcore fucking tag bangers, dude.
Yep. That's how I remember it.
Yeah. And then later on, well, let's get back to Feevo was born in about 1988, man.
Yeah.
That's because Feevo grinds weren't created before that.
Nice. And you obviously like crushed, a lot of stuff in LA, and at a certain point, I met you. I was really young, and I met you in Rialto,
that was a transition I made, definitely because of the situation I got in. After I got out of the psych ward in East Los, we moved to Montebello. That's how I met the dudes from 213. Mm-hmm. That's how I recruited other members, like which was Fim from BNE. Well, Fim from D.O.C, but Blackbird from BNE. He lived right across the street, and his hef is from 18th Street. Mm-hmm. And his younger brothers now represent 213, the gang. Not 213, the crew, but the gang. Yeah. Which, I know Moscow also from 213. He used to skate with us at Transitions on Atlantic Boulevard, before Whittier Boulevard. There was a first fucking indoor skate park with a half pipe outside. Nice. So a lot of us would go there, you know what I mean? Yep. Anyways, fucking I'm in Montebello, 1990. From 1990, I lived on Woods, right by Garfield High School, and that's where I recruited other members, which was Unique, Sirs, and then Anal. We used to call him Anal. That's what he wrote, A-N-A-L. And I try to explain to him, that's how you spell Anal, and if you don't like it, because we would call him Anal, he said, no, it's Anal, dude.
Oh, shit.
Hey, I'm sorry, dude. But, and this is my homeboy Jack. His real name's Jack, and their family's beautiful. They're the ones that
Jack and Anal.
They're the first. His uncle Colono was a big motherfucker, dude. Like you would have to rent out another fucking podcast cable, dude. Like you would have to put 3 more of these. That dude was a big motherfucker, but he was in East LA. He was from Stoner Stress.
Okay.
If you remember the era, right?
Yeah.
In East LA, right there by Garfield High School. And he fronted me my first fucking sack of fucking an ounce of weed.
That's right.
Then I got jacked by Sulu Gremlin, and not jacked, but the person that I was involved with for a week. Yeah. I took her to fucking the hip hop shop and introduced her to like Hex, Omega, my homeboy DJ Puma, rocked the fucking tables back then. DJ Pin one. He was from a crew. I'm from Puma. Please understand my art form. You know what I mean?
Shit. Okay.
And he was originally from BYI, Beyond Your Imagination, with Krantz, which is AM7 now. They had to drop BYI because the New Yorkers told them, hey, you can't have those letters, those are ours. So that was a change up, right? And anyways, fucking, when I moved to Montebello, I had barely fucking I was kind of coming down back to earth from the cuckoo's nest, because I was fucking on lithium, Haldoc, and Gental. I was taking that shit every 4 hours, dude, fucking 3 of each. And if you know what lithium is, it was experimental, shit for manic depression. And so I went through like a fucking 6 months. I told you, I was locked up for 6 months in a psych ward, man. And the only people that went to visit me was immediate family and Faven Alomar, Joey Sorrell, and Gideon Salceda, which is, Dio, Nace, and Odio, Nace, and fucking Gyro. So that's the only 3 homies that visited me, man, in bad times. And you know what they say, like sometimes, like that's the motherfuckers you got to keep in your fucking corner, man, because nobody else did that. Every time before they would go skate, because meet up with Chaka and Stans from LOD and shit, we all skated together. Yeah. we would have a homie that lived right across from General Hospital. And keep in mind that my homie Joey lived right in the neighborhood of Rockwood, Westmoreland locals, right across from Virgil. And Fabian lived in 6th and Kenmore at the time, 18th Street neighborhood, right? Which is cool because, the Güero, which is, I consider him my uncle, and Champ, which I consider my aunt, that's his jefes. And they run that 18th Street shit, you know what I mean? That's the OG dudes of 18th Street. I don't know how it works now because I've met dudes in Las Vegas that are 18th Street, but they don't even know about the OG, so it's kind of like iffy, like, weird, that's real. And I talked to Güero recently at the Flaming Hot preview, and he told me, nah, those dudes ain't fucking part of us. From what I understand, you know what I mean? Because it's a whole different thing, because the guy's from El Salvador, you know what I mean? Like, so it's there's a different Mara, 18, and then there's fucking 18th Street, West Side, 18th.
Yeah. How'd you end up in the Inland Empire?
And that's where I'm getting at. Montebello, that's the mother of my son, Akil. She would go to church at right there in Pico Rivera. Right after the bridge, when you cross over the Winter Gardens and all that, the hood, she went to church right there. They would come from they lived in Fontana, on Alder. They would come to Pico Rivera to go to church, and they had cousins and family over there. I never knew in my fucking life that my brother Ecstasy was cheating on his wife. And we could talk about it because it's all, dead air fucking shit that happened already. And he would utilize me as a fucking tool. Like, I realized this shit later, growing up, to go out, hey, I'm gonna take out fucking Feevo to, get him, vent him out, let him go see the world, get him back in,
Right.
Like, how he was helping me out.
Yeah.
And one day he took me to Malibu Beach and he said, hey, we're going to pick up these 2 girls.
Right.
Yeah?
Well, at least he had a girl for you, right?
No, that's what he was doing. He was helping me out.
That's right.
He knew I was locked up for 6 months, you know what I mean? Like, fucking loco and shit.
Sure,
and then fucking on lithium, Haldon, because that's all, my mind wasn't right, dude.
Sure.
Like, I was fucking drooling at times, man. If you think fucking being doped out on lower tabs is cool, nah, this was dope.
Yeah.
So he took me to Malibu Beach and he was with a chick named Adriana, man. I can mention names because they're not bad people, and they're young mistakes they all made, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Akil's mom, Norma, we did a one-night stand basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she ended up fucking pregnant, dude, and that's how, Akil came about, you know what I mean?
Right.
Beautiful dude, man. In my opinion, like, that dude, if he focused on his music, on his lyricism, and with the right production behind him, like the right fucking people, I always try to tell him, man, like, you know what I mean? Like, right now it's about beats too, man. You can't be conforming to shit just because your lyrics they overpower. They're not empowering the beat. The beat doesn't empower the lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Going back to that's how I moved out to fucking the Inland Empire because Akil's mom, Norma, her family, they didn't approve of me for shit because Vinci Vato looks like he's on drugs. I was skinny because, I wasn't eating because of the drugs, right? The pills, I'm talking about pharmaceutical drugs that were prescribed to me by my psychiatrist, you know what I mean? Dr. Lieberman in fucking Southgate and shit. It was cool though because I found myself, man, like, you know what I mean? I taught myself that without these pills, I could get better.
Right.
And I already knew I had a kid coming, dude. So I stopped taking fucking pills, right? And I would save them, but my jefita looked at me like young-minded. You know what I mean? She looked at me like I was young-minded still. Yeah. So, toma tus pasitas. Jefas love us unconditionally. To this day, my mom fucking, I'll go home for lunch, dude.
Still does that,
I go home for lunch to eat every day to see my mom, dude.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Because I work right by.
That's right.
And I slaved right by where she lives. So I go every day, and dude, it's the best fucking half hour. We'll laugh, we'll talk shit. You know what I mean? My mom's fucking down to earth.
That's right.
In a humble type of way, without cuss words. She's very religious. Any religion that knocks on her door, she's willing to listen. You know what I mean? She knows God's God.
Yeah.
She does it on purpose too. She'll invite over the Jehovah's on certain days that she knows we're all there. So to talk to us. Nice school though, Jehovah's though too.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
But because at one point they were Catholics too.
Right.
Anyways, fucking 92, the parents gave me a chance. They're like, all right, we know a guy that owns these apartments. The beautiful as shit, dude. Right behind these apartments, I could throw a fucking rock to the second canvas that's right there on this wall. And there's steel trains, red worms, dude.
Oh shit!
I could climb my window from the apartment.
Where was this?
Rialto. This is Rialto, right by the Toys R Us warehouse.
Okay.
You know, on Cedar and Second.
I'm not too familiar with that area, but
there was some legal walls to paint over there back in the day.
Yeah, that's later though with Herb Cruz and all that. 93, 94.
Yeah. Okay.
But when I moved there, man, dude. It was the Glenwoods, which those apartments were owned by fucking DJ Quick, and then he had other apartment complexes that were owned by DJ Quick on Foothill.
Oh shit!
DJ Quick he taught me like if I could ever fucking have money, I would invest into real estate because that's what he was doing.
Sure.
But there was a hood called. There was a lot of hoods, man. Mm-hmm. Southside Rialto. There was Brown Pride in Fontana. There's a lot South Fontana. I live right next door to the South Fontana dudes. Okay. You know, OG dudes from there. Yeah. Right. But anyways, fucking the mom and dad offered me to run those apartments, but right off of 1089 West 2nd Street was...
What year was this?
This is in 92, man.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. Because I moved out there. No, it was in 91 because she was pregnant. My son was born in 92 in Pomona.
Okay.
You know, anyways, fucking when I moved out there, they let me run these apartments that the parents knew the owner.
Okay.
They were all in cahoot with the church shit and all that, right? Right. Organized fucking crime, too. For sure. Man. You know what I mean? All that shit is crazy, man, but it's true, man. I ran those apartments. They were ghetto as fuck, but I had a responsibility, you know what I mean? Yep. But the fucked up part was that Akil's mom really wasn't staying there with me. That was just the way to have me next. You know, she was still living in Fontana on Alder.
Okay.
Right? By that 7-Eleven on Foothill. You familiar with that area?
Not really. No. Right.
It's all good because it all looks the same. But anyways, fucking up. So we would do our thing, but it was still like shady because I was just running this apartment. So what I did, I brought my family to move into those empty apartments. I was like, fuck, if I'm the fucking landlord or manager, you let the wrong motherfucker free rent. So I moved my brother Hector, his wife Rachel. Rest in peace to my nephew the second, his firstborn son. Died of fucking fentanyl, man. That's why I don't fucking condone none of that shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck fentanyl.
Yeah.
And I brought my brother Crime and his family to live there in a different block. We were taking over the fucking apartment complex. There was 8 units, dude.
Damn, dog.
First, second, you know, there was 8 units.
Only 2 of them are getting paid.
Yeah. And I was living for free there.
Right.
And it just came to the point where we started bombing the shit out of. We started in Rialto, but then we fucking said, "Fuck, the billboards are easy to get up here." Yeah. I brought my homeboy Finn from B&E, Blackbird from B&E, to move out there, and he was a fucking scaler, dude. He loved to climb billboards. Dude.
That's right.
He brought his wife, his girlfriend at the time, Rita, you know, and she was already conceived in Chubasco at the time. That's what they call it in Spanish, Chubasco. And so I fucking let everybody fucking stay there. But then, fast forward to a week or two before I knew my son was going to be born by about August. And that year, 92, I went on a fucking BMX, straight Fontana looking tweaker, good on a bike and shit, right? But I wasn't tweaking, but anyways. I rode my bike from Rialto to their house, and the mom and the sister that was fucking around with my brothers outside, right? And this is all true shit. That's why I'm saying it. So motherfuckers know that you could go fucking look it up. Go ask those people if it's online.
That's right.
They told me, man, that all this fucking time, every weekend, she was shooting out to fucking Tijuana. And that kid wasn't mine. That the reason she was going to Tijuana is because before me, there was a dude from the church, you know, the dude with fucking feria and already, you know, secured life and shit. And I'm a dude that I'm showing up on a BMX, dude.
Right.
And I don't have shit going on, but they know I don't got shit going on because they gave me the fucking role of a fucking landlord. That was my job.
Yeah.
But
you
fortunately,
think that was on purpose, so you could kind of get away from.
Yeah, like kind of like buying me out.
Yeah.
But it helped me out because it helped out with my family.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I looked at it like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna take this as an opportunity to bring all my family to the empire.
Yeah. No, right? For sure. It's a win-win.
So I fucking go there with the BMX. They're outside. And I'm there with respect, because I've never disrespected them. I never thought my parents raised me to respect
That's
everybody, right?
That's right.
If you don't get it back, still respect them. Make them feel some sort of way.
That's
Kill them with
right.
kindness.
That's right.
So they told me, they explained to me like that the reason she wasn't there because she's in with her dude, the dude that supposedly is the dad of my son.
Yeah.
So they convinced me, man. So I said, you know what? The first fucking minute that I left from there, I was kind of like, fuck, that's fucked up, dude. All this shit, and you know, it ain't even my fucking kid. I was getting played. I didn't even know what it felt like to be played because I didn't have experience with relationships. I was a fucking scammer back then. I like scamming. You know what scamming was in our age. Like, how many girls could you scam in a day, right? Scamming like kissing chicks and all that. So I didn't have no emotional like attachment still, but I was kind of disturbed because my dad raised me up like, you know, that's the worst. That's a pendejo. You know what I mean? Like you're that pendejado. Like somebody was boning your chick while you're fucking thinking it's your kid. And at the same time, I thought, man, what better fucking opportunity to go fuck the fucking neighbor that I always wanted to fuck now without no fucking guilty conscience. And that's where Toy came from.
Oh shit.
I conceived Toy inside a fucking Santa Fe fucking train behind my fucking apartment.
There it is.
You could ask, dude.
So you were hitting trains and you were hitting
And hitting fucking
yeah.
hitting trains. Hitting,
No, that's what's up.
and I didn't have the capacity though to understand that fuck, dude. Like I just gave up on a dude that is my son without even realizing. They convinced me that it wasn't. So 10 years went by, and then they fucking start sending me letters to fucking work, like written letters, like the mom.
Yeah.
So my graffiti thing's going on, like I'm fucking like, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing graffiti every fucking night, dude. People don't even know I'm doing graffiti. Like coworkers would drop me off on the 10 fucking freeway. I already had paint stashed.
Right.
They didn't know shit. You know what I mean? They just leave me here. They thought I was weird. Like I'll walk from here, dude, from Cherry all the way to fucking, to fucking Sierra, dude. Because I stood in some apartments in Juniper.
How long did you stay out in the Empire?
Dude, I moved from Inland Empire in 2005 to Las Vegas because I was the only and last of my siblings and immediate family out here, and they were convinced me. I was working for Hillcrest Contracting Construction, and I was staying at a fucking Stop and Tune in Upland on Foothill. Your homies, the dude that I asked you about last time, I used to burn cars for those fools.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I was hired from dudes from Redlands. They would hire me to, hey, let's get rid of this truck. My homeboy Johnny would fucking get paid, and he paid me and my brother.
Yeah.
Like fraud jobs, you know what I mean? Which is, it's still.
I think I met you for the first time. It was probably about 93 or 94.
That's that fucking time. I know. Exactly.
And then you're catching scribes, and I thought it was the coolest shit that, like, Feevo was a cool name.
We used to go to the bowling place
the
right
bowling
there.
alley. Yeah, the bowling alley. And then you're catching the D.O.C, the thick-ass breaking the window off kind of deal.
Yeah,
D.O.C,
like
RTDK, and I thought that was so cool. Just the D.O.C was cool, but the RT, rough, tough, and dangerous crew.
And
tough,
that's one thing I took pride in, man, that Whisk invited me to join that crew.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I'm curious.
Yeah, because that's a very fucking special fucking era for me, man.
Sure.
The RTD Killers crew, man, to keep in mind, I was fucking up omnibuses. I was fucking up RTS buses. I was fucking up the double stacker that went from Riverside to Cherry, and that's where I would catch it. From Cherry, I would go to fucking Pomona, Foothill Transit, jump on the Foothill Transit in the Monty station. Then I would go to downtown, and then I would meet up with the homies. You know what I mean? I would meet up with Skittle, Sonic, all the dudes that you know what I mean? And then I would fucking get a ride back, the COI, the Cost of Insanity, when Euler was in it, Bio, they rep COI. Like, I totally don't understand why Sacred ran a lot of that. But I would bring them, they would bring me back to the Inland Empire, and I had jack spots. You know what I mean? Like, easy money, dude. Like, fucking 50 cans, fucking at the time, everything was about jacking.
Yeah.
Fucking, remember when the laser DVDs came out? They were like this big.
Yeah.
We used to jack those. They cost $89 at that time, man.
Shit.
Fucking big ass fucking machines. They would stick that fucker in. You know what I mean?
I remember fucking around with some white girl in a nice neighborhood, and they had that, and I was like, man, fucking rich bitch. You know what I mean?
That's how you know they got money.
Yeah. Because they would sell them at certain stores, but you would have to have the apparatus for it. You couldn't just get the shit and then fucking where you could stick it at. The fucking thing was like bigger than LP, dude.
Yeah.
And they were heavy. They were made out of like some fucking real fucking shit. But going back, the Cost of Insanity dudes would drive me up. We would go around fucking racking in a van, and we'd fill up all this shit with fucking whatever you could think of, whatever made money, man. Just to trade it in for fucking what we wanted. It was fucking Krylons, dude.
this is with homies from LA.
Yeah, that's how I would get rides back, or I would just catch the fucking bus right back, the same pattern, and I would walk from Cherry with a bunch of fucking paint, and then fucking bomb all around. Go through South
There's still a lot of shit. There's still a lot of shit.
Go through Bloomington, dudes. You know what I mean? I know a lot of dudes from there just because of the way I travel.
The most random ass landmarks over that area. Yeah, I don't know. It's almost like you have a contract with the city not to buff your shit because there's curb tags still, and I'm like, how do curb tags run?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's I saw in '92 maybe. I saw a Feevo in yellow.
Yeah.
I don't know how a yellow is even still there. A Feevo in yellow that said Feevo '92 on it recently.
Damn.
And I was just like, Jesus, that's crazy, man.
And then that goes into more shit because when I moved to, I fell on a relapse again. I went loopy again. This was because of I think it was this time it was emotional because it was due to the kind of like the way I was getting treated because I deserved it too though. I was a fucking dick to my fucking daughter's mom though. Because I let the ego get to me like I'm fucking Feevo, you know what I mean? Like I've got all these homies and all that shit. I can do whatever, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I learned from that. And I moved to Fontana, but I went back to the psych ward, dude. But in San Bernardino County, they put me in San Bernardino's for a little while. And then they let me out and, you know. But when I went crazy, I took a long stroll and I was filling out applications, dude. It was like a mental thing because I was filling out job applications. And I was putting like, I'm good at it. Like I was doing the dumbest shit, but then I was trying to break into a car so I could drive to LA. You know what I mean? I was depressed, man, like fucked up. And they arrested me, the sheriffs arrested me, and then they took me to first they took me to Valley, to Rancho. Then from there, they considered me, like, they dressed me up in a green and another color, and they put me in a fucking rubber room. And I had fun in there because I was like, man, I was fucked up in the head, but I knew that I wasn't fucking gonna hurt myself.
Right.
And then we were staying at Magweti and Alder, like a block and a half away from where, you know, Akil's grandparents were. And there I met dudes from MB. I don't know if you remember MB.
No, we battled MB.
State
oh, no,
S8.
No,
there was a guy
with MB.
MB. That's before the battle, right? S8 from MB lived there, and then other dudes from Verdugo Flats lived there. 2 dudes from Verdugo Flats, and a couple of dudes that kicked it with my brother Iser were from Brown Pride. And we all lived in the same apartment complex, man. And they wanted to test me too, you know what I mean? And, you know, they found out, you know what I mean? That, you know, I'm not just, you might see somebody for what you think they are, but you don't know deep down what they are in here when you piss them off. You know, we all have that beast monster. I learned to control it, man. But anyways, fucking there, I remember I told you how I found out how to let go of to become normal again. I stopped taking the pills, but I would save them. I would put them on the side of my mom. My mom would think I would take them, but I would save them. I had my own fucking stash. So I used to call it, it's the old lean, dude. Okay. I didn't have a name for it, but it was lemonade. Mm-hmm. And I would fucking open the gal cash, crush the ones that weren't. Mm-hmm. And I'll put them all in there, shake it up. And all the dudes from MB, the OFAs would come over. And we would sit, like when nobody was around, we would sit in the apartment and fucking drink that shit. I personally, I'll be honest with you, I didn't drink it. I just knew they liked it because the fucking high was different for them because they weren't in need of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it hit them like, God damn, that's why you're on this shit. It pays off to be a little crazy, but that's how I met those dudes. And they had my back to the fullest too. But then there was an occurrence. Remember when I judged the battle between UFD and it was the MBs? So that was what I'm learning this right now, that you guys were in cahoot with each other. And that's why UFD felt some sort of way that they said that they had backup in the battle. Because it was a battle for
a lot of PI got an MB.
So from Foothill, from San Bernardino all the way to fucking Rialto Fontana, all that, it was the battle, right? But they said that some of the dudes from
Foothill, right?
Yeah. So I called it, you know, being from LA, I wasn't trying to call it, I wasn't even trying to be biased, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I wasn't trying to choose, these are OFA dudes. I went to school with Scan, Roes, Keeve, Pale from OFA. I went to high school with those dudes in Bowen High, you know, the OG dudes from OFA. But I didn't want, for some reason, man, that LA fucking pride probably got the best of me, but I did see more fucking MB shit than I did fucking UFD. Mm-hmm. And UFD were my homies. They're the first dudes. They welcomed me into the Inland Empire.
Right. Do you remember UFD?
United for Destruction. It was Mekos, Soul, Mekos, Soul, Pace, fucking Depth, Or. Yeah. Mm. So these dudes, I remember Soul and Mekos and them came knocking on my apartment, the apartments that I was running, the landlord business.
Yeah.
They came and knocked, and somebody dry snitched me because a few days before that, me and Finn were walking down Foothill in front of the Glenwoods, like that side.
Yeah.
And two girls, Jennifer and some other girl from Colton, which we didn't know at the time. Jennifer was Mekos' chick. You know what I mean? Mm. They saw us walking and they pulled up on us and asked us if we needed a ride. So we went to Colton to fucking swim at a fucking house in Colton. We thought they had loot because fuck, we come from apartment complexes, dude. From shitty apartment complexes. They have a house with a fucking pool and they're letting you swim with them. Yeah. Little did they know, man. Yeah. Fucking my homeboy from V&E, fucking pork, fucking homegirl. I was just the wingman, dude. Yeah. Right.
Right.
So fucking we got dry snitched by them because they dropped us off at my apartment complex. Remember, I let all my homies live there, my family live there. Yeah. So they knew and they went and told fucking Mekos, and then Mekos found out fucking Finn, dude. And Mekos is from D.O.C, you hear me? Mm. But that's all high school shit, and you know what I mean? They were in high school. We weren't in high school no more at that time, you hear me? Right. So they knocked and, hey, well, you're Feevo, right? And I didn't know how to react to it, you know what I mean? Because this is the Inland Empire, man. Right. And I had already been getting crossed out by gangs. Like Southside Rialto was this. Later in years, I got real close with a friend, Mike Figueroa, from Southside Rialto, right? Mm-hmm. And I ended up selling him guns later in time. He was buying guns off of me.
Allegedly.
Allegedly buying guns off of me. Like the Mormons say. The Mormons say allegedly, right? They don't sell guns. Yeah, allegedly, man. But the crazy shit was that allegedly I was selling guns to a homie later on that they found out who I was, and now I was hanging out with them, you know what I mean? And we became
only
real.
That leads to RTDK.
Yes, the UFDs come to my door and they welcome me in and give me props, but I didn't know how to feel about it at the time. So all right, cool, meet you. We didn't hang out. They left, and all right, we'll talk to you later. Then through time, I became real good friends with them, and then not that I would go paint with them, but we knew about each other now. And then through time and years later, they invited me to join Herb Crew. Even after the fact that I judged the battle towards, the LA crews, which is the OFA MB, versus, you were part of the winning
part
crew.
Of the MB.
Yeah, so you were part of the winning side. But they later on were holding that against me, like, you're from LA and you know the pride behind it and you chose them. That's what I saw when I fucking went to look at the next day fucking at the results of the battle. Yeah. That's what I saw. I saw big fucking fat cap tags with,
Get a little bit closer, man.
I saw big fat tags with MB tags everywhere.
Did MB every single night.
That whole battle, so I judged it based on what I felt was, vandalism. The other guys felt some sort of way. They thought they won. But that created, I think, like a beautiful cruise after the fact, right? Like, that created DD.
Yeah, a lot of UFD, MPI started DE. Like, that was the original meeting of ours. Was, a couple guys from PI, a couple MB. so you guys, oddly enough, MB was PI, basically, and then UFD, and then that, started DE. Like, the first, four of us. Like,
and that's how Herb Crew got started off of the other side. Huh?
Yeah, and then Herb Crew started, from UFD.
And the irony of shit, later on, Mekos is part of D.O.C, and then Pacer's also part of D.O.C. Mm-hmm. And the younger cats from Herb Crew, till this day, give me I love the respect they give me, but sometimes we're just vandals, dude. Like, there's no need for all that shit. It's not like I'm fucking winning gold medals for the USA or Mexico or anybody, you know what I mean? I'm just doing what I love to do and when I want to do it, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Going back to the RTD, man, RTD is a beautiful crew. The fact that I still represent it and the way I represent it is still in an illegal manner. You know what I mean? Because RTDK is Rapid Transit District Killers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
We battled RTDM, which consisted of some dudes from, I believe that some dudes that were forced into RTDK after we took them out on the East LA lines, because they were from East LA. RTD Mob was totally different than RTD Killers. But we destroyed, obviously, it was too easy, you know what I mean? And I'm not down talking on them. They were dope, but now they're RTD Killers, you know what I mean?
Right.
They were invited in, you guys, you know what I mean? Like, they changed up the M to the K.
Yeah.
And I believe one of them is 125, man.
Yeah.
And that dude's, till this day, man, I tell 125, man, you deserve that fucking 7th letter fucking money. You deserve that fucking Montana sponsor. Dude, what the fuck? We got a fucking pioneer of the killing game, man. From B-boy to fucking now, prison time, fucking over and over, come out and do the same shit over and over. No fucking holding back monster. That's RTD Killers for me, dude. Like, never giving up on your letters, man. Because there's a lot of people that create crews and then they drop them because they got offered a new car, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they jump on a new car and they feel like, yo, the smell of a new car is dope.
Mm-hmm.
I like keeping my old shit, you know what I mean? Like, I like being loyal to my fucking, what I purchased, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm comparing that to
No, I get what
graffiti,
you're
like
saying.
how people jump out of crews and give more power. They empower other crews that weren't even here before RTDK, you know what I mean?
Right.
One crew I really respect a lot is Mosh and Bolt, that OTR shit, man. Like, they brought it back, you know, after a long time of not being around. That's a Brust crew, you know what I mean? That started back in '85, I believe. And they a lot of those dudes are RTD Killers. Rest in peace, Sleaze. You know, he was an RTD Killer. He's also an OTR. You know, Skate, you know what I mean? OTR, he's also an RTD Killer, bus killer. Whisk organized this fucking thing like it was a fucking company, dude, but like a vandals. I remember one time we took over UCLA. Think about, from what I saw, I didn't know every single person in RTDK because every single person in RTDK ran a big crew in LA. You know what I mean? Like Mozart ran KWS, you know what I mean? Jin ran TNT, you know what I mean? I was running D.O.C. at the time because all the DOCs that started with me kind of fell off into their own other worlds, like other crews that they empowered.
Mm-hmm.
We would be more powerful if they would have stuck it out, like with the mindset I had for the crew.
Yeah.
And we talk about it. It's nothing that they know what's up. They even tell me, man, Feevo, we're glad that you're the motherfucker that took over the fucking letters because it would have died out. Definitely would have died out. You know what I mean? I used to do a one-man army thing out here. RTDK, like you said,
Mm-hmm.
it ain't even from the Inland Empire, and it's not. And it's technically a bus crew, so I came and killed omnibuses, RTS buses.
That's right.
And in Vegas, in 2005, I was killing the fucking cat buses out there.
Yep.
Because that's the way I got to work. You know what I mean? Me and my compa, Isaac, he's from Barrio Puente, Dove Street. We would fucking chill across the street from where we work, drink fucking 211s or fucking ice houses, the 32s, and just fucking get on the bus. And he would trip out because I wouldn't tell him who I was. He just recently found out like who the fuck I am, you hear me?
Yeah.
Because I have family from Puente. My goddaughter's dad is Calavo from Dial Boulevard, and her uncle is from Puente, Barrio Puente Tres. And they're from D.O.C. too. So, you know what I mean? It's crazy how I influenced a lot of these dudes that were hardcore gangbangers to be part of the family here.
Yeah.
But RTDK, it brought, I miss that fucking shit, dude, because there's no reason why buses ain't getting killed by RTDK now. I understand the transition from RTD to MTA, but what does that have to do with your loyalty to your letters, man? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's all perspective, right?
Because wherever you go, if we're transit killers, I mean, we're still representing the same thing. And that's how I took it. In Vegas, I was doing RTDK tags on windows. Right when I would exit, and we would sit in the back, you would have to get off on Durango, and I was getting off on Jones, and on Cheyenne.
Yeah.
And right when I get off, I already had a fucking Little Rock in my fucking pocket. So when I would get off, he didn't know what the fuck I was doing because he's still on the bus. I would go to the back window, real quick. You know what I mean? Scribe is like, for me, that was a big part of graffiti, man, because you didn't need nothing. You can't have no fucking excuse. Me and Odile used to go downtown and fucking just scribe on windows with sandpaper, with fucking red lava rocks, we call.
Yeah.
We used to fucking do over and over until
Sandpaper
the
used to
fucking
be my
tags,
shit,
the
yeah.
tags looked like a mirror reflection of you, man.
Yeah.
Like, we had a lot of that shit running in downtown, especially tinted windows look dope with fucking lava rocks. You scribe them like big ass fucking F stick like this, and just like a fucking whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Sonic would go to the RTD layups on Olympic and Whittier. I mean, the Olympic bus and the Whittier bus, the 18s and the 20, forget the 66, those lines, they all parked. The one that came from Olympic parked on this side, on Garfield, I believe, and Whittier in the middle, and they would go get donuts. And the other fucker that came on line 18 from the 6th Street to Whittier would park on this side, right? So Sonic would go kill that bus, every fucking window, Sonic, like deep scribes. We knew they weren't going to come back for 20 minutes or 30. They're on their fucking break. Yeah. And I'll be killing this bus, dude, like Feevos, every fucking window, the other side. And then we'll switch fucking the crews now. RTD Killers, fucking D.O.C, fucking, you know what I mean? And we had that crew at that time, 7 of Heaven, so we were fucking up everything. And then in Montebello, we had every fucking bus. We would hang out with the high school kids from Montebello High. That's how I put down Skittle from D.O.C. When he lived right across from Kid Frost, like on 21st and behind the high school. That's where Kid Frost's mom lives. Where the crazy shit is, that Kid Frost allegedly used to sell dope with my brother's fucking dad, Weddle, in MacArthur Park back in the days when Kid Frost was from 18. And then he got into some other, you know how the rumors got around that he was from a bunch of hoods? Those are probably true, allegedly, right?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Well, he's a beautiful dude too, man. Like, he did a lot he's still to this day participating with the Rasa.
That's right.
RTD Killers, man, to me, should be like still holding down meetings, and we don't no more, man, because you know people grow up and people create businesses. The last time I seen Whisk was a little interview he did on me, but that never got put out because it was like recorded, and it was gonna be transferred to transcript. You know what I mean? Into the book, into the
history of
Los Angeles fucking book too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I never got to be on it, but it's cool. He still has that, and nobody supported him. And I started thinking, man, like the politics in graffiti are kind of like they don't support certain dudes, or is it jealousy or what? But nobody helped out fucking Whisk put out that book, man, that second book. The first book was all him, his own pocket money and all that. And with that being said is what I'm talking about earlier, like how people jump out of their OG crews to go empower other crews that are already really established and they're making feria and all that shit. But they never go back to the dudes that really mentored them in the game and helped them out and support them, man.
Yeah.
I know Whisk is doing real good, you know what I mean? Like he has his own solar fucking company or whatever the fuck it is that he does. You know what I mean? But nobody's really there for him as from what I see, you know what I mean? Like maybe they are, but I don't see it because RTD Killers wouldn't have died out if everybody was empowering each other. Instead they let it all fucking
it happens.
We took over, going back to RTDK, because I know you're running out of time. I got fucking that song 8 Million Stories. That song 8 Million Stories. That song 8 Million Stories. I got them all over the fucking New York. I went to jail in New York for vandalism. I got stories in Tijuana. I got stories. Fuck, like you man. It's just.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to do a part 2 because we didn't really even get into the meat of like moving to Vegas and.
Oh, that Vegas shit is something else. Man, Vegas was confusing for me because there's OFAs out there, there was TKOs out there, and for whatever reason, it wasn't governed right. You know what I mean? Because in 2007, I talked with Christ 911, right? He's from OFA, and he had a problem with the Video War 3 going out. You know what I mean? Because we had beef with OFA over there and the PMs. You know what I mean? And Sauté's PM, right? But we talked about that and we fixed all that. You know what I mean? Now we're smooth and rolling. But unfortunately, a lot of things did happen out there, and I think it was due to fucking dope, man. Like some of these dudes out there were really heavy on some fucking twack and heroin and morphine and all that shit. And unfortunately, some of those dudes passed away, man. You know what I mean? And they didn't take I take graffiti as a family thing. You know what I mean? Like if you want to battle me, it's cool. I'll battle you. I'll fucking go all out for a battle. Till this day, if somebody calls me out, my OGs call me out, let's go battle, I'll go. I won't hold back. Like, you know, for me, it's first. You know what I mean? Like, my kids understand that shit. But I'm going to come home, dude. You know what I mean? Regardless. But nowadays, or even then, people want to play the fucking Cohete game, and they don't understand that we got that too, man. We're raced up fucking by motherfuckers, man. Like you said, raised by wolves, man.
Yeah.
We're fucking products of that environment, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't realize it, man, but graffiti did save my life, but I already had skateboarding doing that for me, man. You know what I mean? But skateboarding was my tool that I got away with so much shit by skating because we were all over fucking everywhere. We were in Culver City, Venice Beach, we were in Santa Monica, we were in Sherman Oaks, Van Nuys, Burbank, and we were taking the letters out that way, you know what I mean? It gave us the opportunity to meet a lot of dope ass people, you know what I mean? I still till this day talk to Stacy Peralta, you know what I mean? Like he gives me insights of like what I should do with what I want to create.
Yeah.
He don't give me like physical like help. He just fucking gives me the ins and outs of how shit works. You know, don't be disappointed if that happens. You know what I mean? And you got to remember, like we have a lot of dope ass crew members that have passed and pro skaters. You know, that have passed. Gabriel Rodriguez, rest in power. Dr. Aya, he was D.O.C. Aya. We have a lot of dudes in the big platforms and the big, you know, and they're in the big fucking corporations representing them.
Right.
But it's not like I'm gonna ask them for fucking favors because I know how long and how hard it took them to even be there. Their story is deep, man, and the dark side also.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna cut it.
Yeah.
Here,
yeah,
man.
we could.
I definitely want to bring you back at some point.
Well, this is my first. You guys. I was gonna do an interview with Drama, remember, and I kind of like.
Yeah.
It fortunately didn't happen. I'm a virgin to the fucking podcasting. This is my fucking session. You know what I mean?
To have you
and it was all.
Thank you for bringing the little homies too, man. That's really dope, man.
This wasn't preordained, like you know. You told me to think about shit I want to say, but it's just that there's a lot of shit I can say.
Hey, that's dope.
I'll be honest with you. Me and him will fucking sit down and we fucking venture on some crazy shit because he has stories that I learned from, and you know. And then we were just talking about like how crazy it is that years later we're fucking talking about the same people and we all both know them. Like, I mean, like our paths are.
Yeah.
There's reason behind
it. I love to hear it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, man. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Once again, big shout out to Palm Springs Podcast Studio for having us.
Thank you, man.
You know, we're looking forward to being back here again. Please make sure you guys contact our homeboy Robert if you guys are interested in doing a podcast here or looking to start one up. The homie could definitely help you with that. Yeah, man. Any last words from you?
No, I just appreciate, you know, your friendship. You know, I've known your family. I've, you know, watched all your kids, not only, well, a lot of your kids obviously be born and come up. We talk quite a bit, man. We have a lot of cool things going on. Just appreciate you coming out.
I just want to mention one thing, man. Like, I've always thought about this. Like, not a lot of people have done what he does for me, man. And one time I told my wife, man, you know how they always say, what do you bring to the table? This fucker let me have a fucking table. You hear me? Now I bring motherfuckers to the table to see what they, you know, help each other out. And it's literally like something that meant a lot to me, man. Well, he gave me a fucking badass table. Now let's sit on it and work on it. You hear me?
Yeah, the real quick thing to say about that is that so I don't forget, is that all the great people in history, whether that be Jesus, Gandhi, Buddha, everything, they've never kept the power themselves. Yes. They've always empowered others. Yes. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like, and it should be the same way for graffiti. You know what I mean? The ones that you look up to are the ones that should be schooling you, not like shitting on you.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's just like, you know, and so
that kind of summed up like what I really wanted to say about RTDK, man. Like, I try to empower and mention dudes that gave me fucking knowledge, man, and it's sad to say, man, but everybody knew this. You know what I mean? I witnessed the first person shooting up heroin at the top of the Belmont fucking tunnel, man, and that was the homie fucking Sleaze One, man. Rest in power. You know, he told me, hey, don't ever talk about this to nobody, but we all know that he did that, man, and that's the way he survived. Some people need those kind of sedatives, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, you know, he died doing what he loved to do, man, and that guy influenced me a lot. By watching him do that, man, I taught my kids not to fuck with none of that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Well, thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining in. Please subscribe to the channel so we could, you know, keep doing this.
Absolutely.
We're out of here.
Awesome.
Peace.
Thanks.
All right.
That was